Good afternoon. I'm KHOU Live Meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We're coming to you in our live stream to bring you an update on the severe weather potential for southeast Texas for later on this evening. So we are under a weather impact alert at least through 8 p.m. as we could see some strong storms move our way. We are seeing mostly calm conditions right now across Houston, but we will see that ramp up as we get closer towards 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and lasting ultimately until 6 p.m. this evening. So what we're looking at now, radar is quiet across Houston for now, but that's not the case for areas north of our viewing area. This is along I-45. We're seeing some very strong storms. These are severe warned that's currently moving in just south of Corsicana. This storm right here has a severe thunderstorm warning with it, as we could see with hail at an inch and a quarter in diameter and wind speeds at 60 miles an hour. So that storm, lots of lightning, and this is what we've been waiting on as we warm up to the warmest parts of our day. There is a storm also just north of Crockett that is showing some signs of strengthening. And so as these storms are slowly moving southward, we will have to pay attention for these actually moving into our northern areas, especially Huntsville, Livingston, Montgomery, Cleveland, Spring, and Katy. And so as we look at our future cast, those storms very well racing south pretty fast as we looked at what we were looking at this morning, and we are expecting this flare up to start taking place between 3 and 4 p.m. Eventually, as we get closer towards maybe 5, 6 o'clock, we still could see some of these downpours and storms moving into the Houston area. Right now, mainly west of Houston, west of downtown Houston, but it's not going to be out of the question that we could see maybe an isolated severe storm making it into the city or into a populated area going on to later this evening. And so eventually, as we get closer towards 9, 10 o'clock, that severe weather threat will diminish and we will be in the clear for the night. So the Storm Prediction Center still including portions of southeast Texas under a slight risk for severe weather. That is a 2 out of 5. The main threat is being wind and very large hail with these storms that do flare up. So you might be looking at your outside and not really see much going on, but we will have to pay attention to the storms that are coming in north of Houston along I-45. Let's say if you have loved ones heading to Dallas right now, there is a severe thunderstorm in place for portions of just to the south, or actually just passing Mejia right there, just south of Fairfield around 45. This does have a severe thunderstorm warning with it, and that is going to be lasting at least through 1:45 this evening. This has 60-mile-an-hour winds. We have some an inch or larger diameter hail with this along 45, and this is racing south pretty fast. And so as we go into the next maybe 2 hours, we could start seeing these storms make it into our northern areas and continue to move southward, going into at least between the hours of 5, 6 o'clock. So it's still some time. You still have some time to do any type of errands, but just keep in mind that as we get to later in the afternoon, you might want to have 2 or more ways to receive weather alerts in case one of these strong storms makes it closer to your region or where you are. So there is storms still moving in from the north. These are severe warned, and we're going to start seeing them move into closer towards Houston and along I-45 closer to Huntsville in the next few hours. And so like I said, as we look at future track is showing that we are expecting to see that storm coverage start becoming a bit more widespread, going closer towards maybe 5, 6 o'clock. The good thing to note here with this is that as we hit to 6, 7 o'clock, that's when we're going to start losing that daytime heating. Temperatures are going to become cooler. We will see that definitely cause some storms to weaken, but you cannot roll out of some of these storms remaining severe as we get closer towards 6 and 7 p.m. And that's the reason why we're keeping that weather impact alert until 8 p.m. later on this afternoon. And so just to kind of sum up what's going on, this is the hail outlook. And so where you see the hatched areas when this graphic pops up, that's where we usually are going to see the greater chance for large hail with any storm that does come into the area. Right now, that hail threat, mainly north of Houston, it does include Harris County, Montgomery County, anywhere north of I-10. If a storm comes into that region, if you see gray skies, if you start hearing thunder, just know that there is a higher chance for hail with these storms as we go into later today. It's going to be probably isolated in nature, We've seen this pattern across Texas where these very small, isolated, strong storms dump quite large hail. We saw that out in Austin a few days ago, and that storm was a very small storm. I don't know if you've seen the videos out of the Austin area, but North Austin got large hail, while South Austin didn't really see anything. It remained mostly clear. So it's kind of giving you an idea that it's hard to pinpoint exact locations on where these storms will be, but just know that we will see areas north of I-10 have that greater chance for storms emitting some pretty large hail potential. So we're going to keep that in mind as we head into the next few hours for us here this afternoon across the Houston area. But just also keep in mind that I know it's very calm outside. Nothing's really happening. You're probably looking out your window or driving around and probably thinking, hey, it's not raining. Even my iPhone app probably says that it's not going to rain, but just keep in mind that we will see the potential for some isolated severe storms later on this afternoon, at least from now until 8 p.m. that we will see those storms start packing a punch, especially as we head closer towards 2, 3, maybe even 4 p.m. Those are the warmest parts of our day. And so as we look at radar right now, we are starting to see some isolated downpours now making its way closer towards Lake Livingston. These are not severe yet, but just to the north of that location, we do have storms that are quite strong, especially along 45. This does include Freestone and Limestone counties. Keep that in mind if you're watching this and you know anybody traveling to Dallas right now. We will see that potential, that storm potential, to move along 45 and head south towards the Houston area in the coming hours between 3 and 5 p.m. I'm looking at this storm out near Crockett. This is it's not severe warned yet, but that is showing signs of quite a bit of lightning, and we are possibly seeing hail with that storm. I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service starts issuing warnings for that storm that's heading through Crockett just north of Trinity. So storms already flaring up well north of Houston, but these storms are racing south. And so just keep in mind that they're moving quite fast. And so if you are in Montgomery County or maybe Huntsville or areas northwest of Houston, even Navasota, you're going to have that higher potential for those isolated severe storms that are going to be moving through. And it's not going to take much. So even though the storm coverage is very small, you could have a very small storm to emit quite a bit of damage to any location going into the next few hours, as we are seeing these storms called ridge runners. They're kind of surrounding a high pressure system. And so in terms of what we're expecting to see for the next 7 days, we are expecting this to continue to be warm and muggy. Our next chance for rain is not until Wednesday and Thursday. That's when we're expecting another weather system to move through. Right now it's looking more isolated in nature for us here across southeast Texas. But weather impact alert for today, at least until 8 p.m. And so have 2 or more ways to receive those weather alerts, because things are going to start looking a little dicey for us across just north of I-10 for this evening, especially as we head closer to 5, 6 o'clock. And as always, you can get the latest weather updates on KHOU.com and on the KHOU 11 News app. We're tracking the storms and we're giving you the latest information as we see them readily available. Have a good rest of your Sunday.